No, let's start there with that. Ahmed Hassanin, the pectoral muscle.
Yes.
And I remember hearing in the past.
No surgery required, buddy.
No surgery required. Let's start there.
Okay.
Why is that big? Why is it big that there's no surgery required?
Because it tells you the amount of detachment, right? So the pec muscle.
God, man, it's
How does a pec muscle detach?
Is that a bad word?
no,
No,
it's
it's
just
just
like
the thought of it.
I'm picturing that happening to me, Doc. Like that's why.
Well, we've had it before. I've used the example of a lot of my bodybuilders that kind of get a little bit ridiculous and they get the steroid use and you get weakening of the ligaments. I don't think this is the case. By now, surgery, that means either there's a piece of the muscle that can be attached back, right? Or it's a mid-substance tear, meaning it's in the big muscle itself and it will hypertrophy, it will kind of grow back together.
Fuse together.
It's called hypertrophy, meaning everything else is going to enlarge around it where that tissue may die off. And the other good thing is there's good blood flow. Like the Achilles, we talk about the Achilles a lot. There's very poor blood flow around the Achilles and the knees. That's why it takes longer. With big muscles like your hamstring muscles and your quadriceps and your pec muscles and even your biceps, if you don't have a complete detachment, then there's good blood flow for potential recovery.
So Dan Campbell, when he was questioned about will he be back this year, he said he couldn't give a clear answer on that, which to me is implying that he ain't coming back this year. Why does this take so long to recover from as opposed to another like muscle tear? I feel like people tear their muscles all the time and are back within.
Well, and there's a backup question to that in the chat too. What Up Though says, didn't Frank Ragnow have a pec injury last year and missed one game? Can you give us the scope? I guess the scope.
So everybody's chest looks different, right? First of all, it's more than just the pec muscle, right? There's 3 different muscles. The big large one, which you can see, has more mass. So depending on where it's torn, where it is close to the attachment. Everything's important to the attachment because you don't get use. You don't get any push-up. A lot of chest, like chest presses and stuff like that, that's what these linemen and people are doing, is to be able to push off and be able to be productive from that aspect. Ragnow had a small tear that he was able to overcome, and he compensates. The guy was the best at not letting you know how bad he's doing, right? So I don't know exactly where the tear is. We can give me more description of the tear. But typically, if it's closer to the attachments, then that's bad. If it's mid-belly, like I said, intersubstance, that's better because you can compensate.
There's more meat around.
There's more meat. There's more recovery. And then you have a big muscle. If it's one of the smaller pec muscles, they have less function, but they have specific function, to how you press. Are you pressing straight on? Are you pressing slightly out? Are your hands in? Are your hands out? All that makes a difference on how you activate the muscles, basically from your nipple to your armpit. All those 3 muscles are hidden and attached up into that area.
Talk with Dr. Pierce as we do every Tuesday here on Big D Energy from the Michigan Sports and Spine Center, courtesy of MRI of Southfield. So I guess, Doc, because I remember in Frank Ragnow, and you can track this back, Chris Spielman famously played with a torn pec and would get the blood drawn from it like every so often and all that kind of
old school before the secret sauce.
But before the secret sauce.
Can you just tape it?
You can kinesio tape it. Again, depending on where it is.
Doc,
the Spielman days, no, he played with one arm basically.
Yeah. How painful is that? Because why I cringe even talking about it, because it's one of those things like people like with snakes or whatever.
It's a hard muscle to tear, guys.
Well, but that I can't imagine how much pain. And you go back to the Chris Spielman thing where he basically played with one arm.
Right.
These guys are just built. I don't know what else to say. Like these guys are just built different, man. Like
they're built different, but
crazy.
They also have a large muscle mass everywhere. Their core everywhere is great. Ours is like you like to run.
Yeah.
Right? So your core for your running is good. I put you in a different sport, a different activity.
It'd be weak.
Huh?
Like golf. Like golf, it'll be weak. No, for real, it is.
Golf, your obliques, your rotational muscles. These guys have to be strong at everything. And then there's sport specific, right? So if they're a lineman, they're going to be a lot of that pushing and tugging. That's their thing. For wide receivers, I got to be agility. I got to be on my toes. Their fast twitch fibers are much better than a lineman. But their core stability base is way better that they've been building as kids. and you keep growing that. And then you talk about a Hutchinson where he had great infrastructure, and now he's going to be even better because of his leg injury. He's basically been broken down and rebuilt. When we talk about firing patterns, we talk about activity level, we talk about the steps of the progress. You don't go from heel to Hercules overnight. You got to build that stepwise process.
What is the treatment for a pec? Like, is it rest?
Yeah,
and
what's his time going to look
rehabilitation?
like? What's his time going to look like for him?
Well, I mean, it's rest to let that. You don't force it. It's not like more pain, more gain. No.
Okay.
It has to rest. It has to heal because you're at risk right now, number one, for the first 6 months, re-injuring and making it worse. So if you have a tear, that's a weak link, right? So if you're pushing on it and I'm benching 300, and he's trying to bench 300 and his left side's good and his right, he's going to aggravate it.
But what about going to a lower weight and trying to bench 100 pounds? Is that something they're going to do? Try to slowly rebuild the muscle, or is it just shut the hell down, let the muscle do its job, then rebuild it?
It's shut it down and let it rebuild, unfortunately.
Okay.
They're saying it's non-surgical, so hopefully, we don't know. There are, I know I promote it, but the secret sauces to help recovery and repair. There's hyperbaric chambers, there's peptides, there's a lot of stuff that goes out there that's speeding up recovery. You're talking about cell growth, you're talking about biologics, you're talking about PRP, you're talking about stem cell. All this stuff is self-healing techniques that are being utilized today, and nobody has an exact time frame. You talk about an ACL, anterior cruciate ligament tear. We know it takes this physiologic for that to repair. Same thing with the muscle here. It's not 6 weeks. 6 weeks is for inflammation, and then we talk about 6 months, and then we try to back it down from 6 months with all this secret sauce stuff. And then, do you need a full muscle to actually be functional at this level? That's the other big thing. We talk about hamstring injuries, which are very popular right now. Guys that can go and can't go. It's a little easier. It's where it is in the belly. Common easier examples when it's up near the buttocks, that's at the attachment. It's hard to go and recover. But if it's a mid-substance, it's in the middle of the belly, you have enough of the other muscle to overtake it. And that's on running. You may never get out of gear, 3 out of a 5-gear system, but you may always be able to be comfortable. Like, I'm good at 3, but if I push it to 4, then I know. So I'm going to be a little hesitant. Same thing with the pec muscle. What gear are you going to be throwing guys around? What are you going to be lunging at? That's what has to be considered. So yeah, it's rest right now. It's let it recover, get the inflammation out, get it under control, get the depths, and then you're slowly starting to contract. He can sit there and self-contract, do isometrics, where you just kind of contract it and not bring in, I got a power lift or I got to do a push-up. Right. And really the push-up can be his baseline. I can do the push-up, which is most of your weight on that arm to be pushing off that pec muscle, and then move to higher stuff. So you want to move to light stuff, body weight, and then resistant.
Doc.
Is that too much?
No, it's not. Steve Wild's in the chat. Neil's acting like a sissy boy. Again, sorry, a torn pec. I would prefer to not tear my pec. Sorry, Steve. With that being said, there was an old man shoulder thing I was going to ask you about. I'm going to dock that till next week. The hamstring thing going around the NFL right now. I guess this is a good lead into kind of a broader based question, because people are asking about the Lions and their camp injuries, and we've seen them have more injuries the last couple years. The work rate of preseason. Are guys working enough in preseason? In your opinion, this is purely
for the Lions or overall?
No, just in general in the NFL. Because what you look, there is a massive list of big time dudes that do not play. They do not play in the preseason. I contend that people don't realize the true impact of an NFL practice on day to day. Like, they are not playing around with each other out there. Like, they're getting at it. So my question to you is, Doc, are they doing enough in the preseason? In your opinion and opinion only.
I think it's camp to camp. I think it's attitude to attitude. If we want to talk about the Lions, you talk about the Eagles, you talk about some of the bigger teams, they're going hard now. They feel next man up is fine. I'm going to find the guy. I've said it before. Campbell's like, I got premium guys, but I still want to get the most out of everybody. And these guys are going hard. They're going at 110%. I'm getting asked, from strangers, why is this injury? It's like I'm the authority. I'm not the authority. I have thought processes on it, but I think in the big picture, we are prepped. We have a great medical team. They proved themselves last year. Anybody who questions our medical team and our training staff, they were challenged like no other team last year. So that's not the issue about preparing. I think the Lions have a lot on the line, but they also know they have to prove it on the field. There's no gifts on the Lions. You have to prove yourself. And by proving yourself, you're going 110%. Why are they backing off from preseason? Preseason, these guys are going hard. The guys that are third, fourth string, they're coming after the big boys. I'm going to, like
that's
we
the thing I
talked
think
about.
people miss is like these guys are fighting for their livelihoods.
Yeah.
They're fighting for their kids, their family, like their last shot at the league. So in preseason,
Like if
these
you don't
guys are
get
almost
this, if
going
you don't get this
harder.
done, you got to go get a real job.
You're gonna be Netflix. You're gonna go, work for FedEx. Like you hear it all the time. Oh, now he's selling cars. Like it's the league or figure it out
Or
in
real
life.
life.
And I'm taking the league if I have the skill set.
Dante 151. Cody Rhodes, he's in the super chat by the way, had a torn pec last year and faced Seth Rollins in a steel cage match before having surgery. No, it was a big thing.
Yeah,
like in the
his shit was literally red.
yeah,
all
like it
over,
was like purple and,
Yeah.
and everything
then
like
he lost
that.
a scripted fight.
Rhodes
on,
suffered
come
it.
on. Don't do that.
Rhodes
Come
suffered
on.
it. Rhodes
You don't
suffered
think they
it.
could draw the script around his shoulder so that he's not like
He had to fight a physical.
to compare it to
like,
real
Hell in a Cell
sports?
match.
Stop it.
Okay.
We're not trying to compare it to real
Let
sports.
me circle
it's a
it
real
back here.
injury, though.
Rhodes suffered it.
Was it though? You don't know.
Yes, it was.
Well, are you
He
sure?
fucking tore his pec. Yes,
Are you
he
sure
had
it just wasn't
surgery.
part of the storyline that they wrote into your
He
grown man
literally-
soap opera?
He had surgery after stick. Not
Oh,
everything
are you
is
sure,
fucking
or was
fake
that part of the
make-believe.
storyline they built into your grown man soap opera?
Yeah, it's not everything is fake or make believe. I know you.
It's a grown man soap
I
opera.
know
I'm
you
not
from that
going
area.
to
marry his
defend
cousin?
him, but I have taken care of UFC, MMA, all those guys.
Have you ever taken a WWE?
Back in the day of
Well, back in the day, that's different.
with Hulk and all those guys.
That was different.
That's
I'm talking.
It was-
I go back to Silverdome days. That's how old I
So
am.
did Hulk really lift Andre the Giant?
Yes.
It was a momentum.
I forget what the question even was. It was more like a statement. But you
let's just
treated
not
these
bring
guys.
acting into real sports. Can
Well,
we do
Doc,
that?
That was a
okay.
real
The
injury,
wrestling
though.
dudes.
Oh, jeez.
No.
We're opening this up.
When you treated the wrestling dudes, it didn't look like acting on your side, I bet.
No, these guys have. As
Don't be
much
too
as
smart.
it's. What's a polite political. Choreographed, there it is. As much as you still have to be athletic, you're still jumping off. There's still a chair coming at you.
Yes,
There-
but
there's
they can
still-
say, hey, his right shoulder's messed up. Hit him with the chair on the left shoulder.
Yeah.
In the NFL, you don't get to turn to the
But to be
lineman and
honest,
say, hey,
those
only
guys-
hit me on this side because I'm injured.
Those guys are competitive too.
I get it. They're the best.
They're
stunt-
fighting for their livelihood.
They're the
too.
best stuntmen to ever walk the planet.
Yeah,
I will
stuntmen's-
give them that credit.
Yeah.
But let's not act like if I have an injury in WWE, I can't draw it into the script and kind of hide my injury. You can't do that in the NFL.
He didn't do that in that said match. But
I'm
go
sure
ahead.
he
now.
did,
He
KG.
did.
All right, back to our Lions.
Yes. Well, I think that's about it, Doc, because we've run out of time. I'm sorry I did that to you, Doc.